Hi all, I'm Melissa and welcome to Oh My Word, Melly. So in my New Year's resolution book tag video for 2023, I said that I'm going to spice up my reading by following or trying, attempting, whatever you want to call it, the Uppercase YA's 2023 reading challenge. If you still haven't watched my 2023's New Year's resolution book tag video, I think you should click the link up here and watch that so that you all know what I am talking about. In today's video, what I am going to do is I am going to tell you all which book I have selected for each challenge in this reading challenge. So let's see what the first challenge is. So that is Tropes. Starting off with Slow burn. So the book I selected for slow burn, I already read it as the first book of the year, and that is Two Wrongs Make a Right by Chloe Lees. Oh my word, I absolutely devoured that book. I enjoyed it. It was so steamy, and then both main characters, the female and the male, both were on this neurodivergent spectrum where they had, like, the female main character had an autistic disability, or like she was autistic. Then the male main character had like an anxiety representation, and then even it had this LGBTQ spectrum where the main character, the side characters were on the spectrum. Not all main characters, but like there were characters on the spectrum as well. It was slow burn, but it wasn't like wearing you down. I normally don't like slow burn because they take so long to fall for each other, but like I have read some slow burn books which I loved as well, and this is one of those books. And it is also a retelling of Shakespeare's Much Ado. I don't know, I don't read Shakespeare, but if Shakespeare's Much Ado is as amazing as this, I think I might give it a try. Definitely it's a must read, like y'all need to definitely pick it up and read it. So the next trope is Rivals to Lovers. I love this trope, and the book I selected for this trope, I Kissed Shara Wheeler by Casey McQuiston. I love Casey McQuiston's books, Red, White and Royal Blue, then One Last Stop, which I absolutely loved reading. The queer romance, then academic rivals to lovers, as well as like it has bisexual and BIPOC representation. So I'll talk about BIPOC very soon. So the next trope I have in this challenge is fake dating. I love fake dating too. I think for this I am going to tell another book that is on my TBR, and I have heard like my friend Bella's book obsessing over this, and that is Dating Dr. Dill by Nisha Sharma. It's like book one of a series called If Shakespeare Was an Auntie, and this has like a South Asian or an Asian representation. It is obviously steamy fake dating and great banter is what I have heard. So I am eager to read this, and also not only fake dating but an enemies to lovers trope as well. So Friends to Lovers. So for this, the book I selected was With the Fire on High by Elizabeth Acevedo. I really wanted to read this, and I know it has something to do with cooking, or like cooking is this main character's passion. So I love books about cooking, baking, whatnot. And yes, this is not only Friends to Lovers, but also it's about like a young teen who becomes a mother. And I have heard that the writing is really amazing, and then there is about travel, coming of age, and family. There is also side characters who are on the spectrum. I like books that are diverse. So the next section of this challenge is genres. So I love reading romance, but this challenge is definitely going to take me out of my bubble and challenge me for sure, which I am interested, because these genres are something that I think I might enjoy, but because I haven't read much of these, that I wouldn't know. But the first one is something I love, and these books I definitely wanted to read, and that is Myth or Classical Retelling. I decided to choose Elizabeth Lim's Six Crimson Cranes. and also The Dragon Promise, which was released I think last year August. It's something on my TBR as well, which I knew I would love. So it has this fairy tale vibe. I think it's a retelling of an Asian mythology or a Korean mythology, which I am not sure which Asian country, but so it's a retelling of the Wild Swans, which is an Asian mythology, and also it has this fairy tale vibes, arranged marriages, curses, evil stepmothers, and like I have been told, like it's beautifully written. You get hooked from the very start of it. So the next genre is in my wheelhouse, guys, and that is feel good romance. Oh my word. So for this, so the book that I selected, or rather the two books here have been in my TBR ever since, and y'all know I love romance books, and what I selected for this is Tokyo Ever After and Tokyo Dreaming by Emi Kojin. It is this book with definitely Asian representation, and also it's like, if y'all liked Princess Diaries when y'all were growing up, I did. I love the books, I love the movies. So it has the Princess Diaries vibe and bodyguard romance, a secret princess and royalty. Like those are definitely points or things in books that I adore. I love books with royalty or some kind of I don't know, yeah, popularity. So the next genre is something novel to me, and that is murder mystery. So like I said, I don't go, or I don't deviate usually from romance and fantasy. So murder mystery is going to be definitely a challenge. When it comes to watching TV series, I kind of like mystery, detective-ish TV series. So I guess I might like books of this genre, though I have never read. And the first book under this genre that I would like to read is The Agathas by Kathleen Glaslow and Liz Lawson. So what I have been told, or what I heard about this book, is it's like, if y'all watch Riverdale, I guess y'all have, it's one of the most, like, it's a popular TV series on CW if I'm not mistaken. So it's like Riverdale meets One of Us Is Lying with teen detectives, and this popular girl in the school goes missing during Halloween, and as the name says, the Agathas, it refers to a lot of Agatha Christie references. It sounds something that I would like, and like it's set in a coastal town and everyone has secrets, makes me think of Pretty Little Liars as well. Everyone has secrets. So the next book under this same genre that I want to read is Queen of Tiles by Hannah Alcuff, if I'm not mistaken. It is definitely murder mystery, and it revolves around Scrabble. So Scrabble is a word game that I really love. Like I learned so much of spellings and words just playing it. I know I sound like a nerd. I am one. So anyhow, so I love Scrabble. I like any word game. So I was like intrigued by that. And another thing that intrigued me is the main character is Muslim. Love it. I love reading books with Muslim main characters because I can relate to it. See, I know there is some murder mystery that she has to solve, I think, at a Scrabble competition. So definitely something I want to read. Finding a book for this final genre of the challenge was a challenge of itself, and that is thought-provoking contemporary. I know I read a lot of contemporary romance books, and I think the book I selected is also a contemporary romance book, but it also makes you think of life and reflect on your decisions, and that is In 5 Years by Rebecca Surley. Definitely something that caught my eye. It's a fast-paced book, and you can like finish reading it in one sitting, like 4 to 5 hours is what they said. I'm not sure, I need to read it and see. And it's about a famous lawyer who has her 5-year plan, right? And she will do whatever to achieve that plan, and then she nails a job that she wants. Her boyfriend proposes and she says yes, but all of a sudden she goes to sleep and wakes up 5 years in the future, but for a very short time, and then she's back again to her own era or own year. I think this is set in 2020 and she wakes up in 2025, and it's like magical realism, because it's an actual verb, but due to some magical event, it's not time travel as well, but she just wakes up there and then wakes up back here, and then she starts reflecting about the decisions she might have made to have that life 5 years later and something like that. So what I realized is it has love, it has hope, and it makes you like reflect on life and makes you like think. I don't know, like it's thought provoking as the genre says it. So I definitely want to read it. The next challenge is diversity. So like y'all know, I love books that has diverse representation. Starting with the first challenge in diversity is a book by a queer author. So this is not only books that have queer characters, but the author is queer or on the spectrum themselves. And another book that was on my radar is Something to Talk About by Merrill Wilson, but that's not the book I selected for this prompt. I actually selected Mistakes Were Made by the same author as well. So Mistakes Were Made by Merrill Wilson is like a one night stand gone wrong, an age gap romance, and I was told that there are so many spicy scenes. Who doesn't love the spice? I wanted to spice on my reading, right? So more spice, the better. A book with a BIPOC main character. BIPOC stands for Black, Indigenous and People of Color. So this definitely people of color. When it comes to indigenous, it's like Asian representation, Muslims, Latinos, like some kind of special representation that is out of the usual. The book that I explicitly selected for this prompt or challenge is A Faux Love Story by Loan Lee. So it's about forbidden love, a Romeo retelling, Vietnamese main characters, rivals to friends. Definitely it's like competing restaurants, again revolving around food and love. So definitely something I love. All angst and prompts that would definitely make me want to read the book more and more. So a book by a debut author. So debut authors are authors releasing books for the first time, and there are so many debut authors that I want to get to know. UppercaseYA itself does many posts every year for debut authors of the year, and some of the books that they had recommended for this year did catch my attention. And one is Fake Dates and Mooncake. So again it has an Asian representation. So what I realized with my selections this time is I have so many books that I am picking which has some diversity, some indigenous character, like Asian representation was something that I saw commonly. Like I was tending to go towards that. So anyway, and this has a one bed trope, and again it's a queer male romance book, as well as it has this Crazy Rich Asian vibe and a competition like a baking mooncake competition. So definitely, and the cover is so cute, guys. Banned and censored book. Honestly, I didn't realize that country to country, region to region, there are so many books that are banned and censored. Like, and I was shocked. Like I learned a lot with this, right? And so UppercaseYA again did a post on this, capturing a few of the known, like some famous books that are banned in certain regions, and I was not shocked. Like The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas is obviously banned. I knew there are people who would be against it. That is one of the books I absolutely loved, connected, like it's etched in my blood. Like I connected with that book so much. It's a very special book for me. If you all haven't read it yet, you all should. If you all want to know or like hear my review on it, click here because it's a wonderful book. And apparently Looking for Alaska by John Green is also a censored book or like a banned book. I don't know why. Like I have heard of it. I haven't read much of John Green's books, or I have not read at all. As I can't select The Hate You Give as I have already read it, I thought I'll select The Concrete Rose by Angie Thomas itself for this prompt, which is the prequel to Hate You Give. I don't know if it is banned or censored in any area yet though, because like it does address things like racism, right, and the negative treatment these black folks get, not to be offensive, but like so definitely I think because the more they address it, the more they speak up of it, people don't like it, right? The final challenging section, grab bag. Actually, it was one of the most sections I enjoyed looking for books. The first challenge is a book recommended by your favorite author, and I'm so excited to have Emmanuel Snow because she's one of my most favorite authors and she's like a friend to me. If I don't talk about Emmanuel Snow in one of my videos, it's going to be shocking because I enjoy all of her books. I have read all of her books and I got her most recent book as an ARC as well, Legend and Country, and I'm going to start reading it right after I finish filming this. So anyway, I hit her up and I got talking to her and I asked her to recommend some books for me for this prompt itself, and she was super stoked and she recommended me 3 books. So first is Pool Boy by Nikki Sloan. So it's like a forbidden romance, a reverse age gap, like an elder woman with a son's best friend kind of thing. And she said it's thrilly and steamy and has a Carter Hills vibe. So Carter Hills is a main character of her books, right? So I love Carter Hills, and if she says it has a Carter Hills vibe, oh yes, this is a book that I will definitely like to read. Age gap, forbidden romance, new adult book. Yes, you're speaking my language. The next is Famous Last Words by C.W. Farnsworth, which is a YA sports romance, which is like all things angsty. So she said she loved it. This is one of the books she read recently, she said too. And finally, an emotional romance, like she said she cried from the very first chapter, and that is Second Chance Summer by Morgan Matson. I'm not sure, like I read a lot of emotional books, but like I don't want to be a weeping mess, which I am mostly always am too when reading books. Like I can cry easily, like I get so emotional, I start connecting with that character and that's it. Whoops, here comes the waterworks. Last series of a book. If y'all know me well, y'all know my answer, and that is Chain of Thorns by Cassandra Clare, which is releasing on the 31st of January, and I'm so excited. I'm eagerly waiting for it to be released because I really need to find out how this ends. A book with under 1,000 GoodReads rating. So the book I chose for this is an ARC that I got from the author Rachel Menard, which is book 2 of her Labels of Jen series, and that is Clash of Fate and Fury. I love the first book by Rachel Menard, and that is Game of Strength and Storm. It was like a Herculean Olympic retelling. You can check out my review on it on GoodReads. As this is new, it still has very limited ratings because now only the ARCs are going out and it's not released, but that is the book I selected that has under 1,000 ratings so far. So the last challenge is a book on your TBR for 5+ years. For this, I had to say About a Girl by Lindsay Kelk. I know I gave this answer in one of my previous videos as well because it has been on my shelf since almost 2017. It's a trilogy, but at least if I can read book 1, which definitely would make me read book 2 and 3 because I love Lindsay Kelk so much. So guys, that was it. Those are all the books that I chose for each prompt of the UppercaseYA's 2023 reading challenge. With that, it's time for me to say bye for today, and with the promises of seeing you in my next week video, hopefully something more bookish and more fun. So this is me signing off for today. So bye from Oh My Word, Melly.